Hi guys, welcome to the channel. CeeChronicles here. We post fragrance related content on this platform, guys, and I would love for you to subscribe if you're not yet part of the family. To those who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I had to do a review of this lady here, or this girl, or this new release from Paris Corner. This is FAYORA, the blue one, and it's FAYORA OSHINO. Okay, so it's a two-toned bottle. Paris Corner gave us another FAYORA, the original FAYORA, and I also have it here just for those who may want me to throw the differences right there. So this is gonna sit in there, and let me gist you on what it's doing. Okay, just waste a couple of sprays here of FAYORA OSHINO, and we'll get into all the nice stuff, not so nice stuff, and generally my thoughts about this fragrance right now. This fragrance, disclaimer, is doing the total opposite of this. So if you're gonna buy this fragrance because you loved this one so much and you think it's gonna be a continuation, she is polite, she is kind, she is sweet, she is inoffensive, the original FAYORA. She is, to some noses, gonna come across as delicate. She's also a little bit of a gourmandish type of, girl, whereas this is unapologetic. Okay, this gives you a burst of fruitiness there in the top, a mixture of fruit, but then emerges a citrus, right? The citrus, bergamot, lemon, whatever it is, marries with the frangipani. So the frangipani note then ties into the already existing citruses, and then we lose that fruity feel that was a little bit even sweet there in the beginning, and get into a journey that kind of feels like a sourness happening there. And that is what I say is the opening of this fragrance. And immediately, just spraying the first spray there, when I got this bottle, I would certainly say it was heady. There is that heady thing that I got almost immediately, as though the patchouli is kind of overdone in this fragrance. And it is the same headiness that you're going to get that's going to immediately tell you that though it is also a FAYORA like this one, the two are like night and day. Okay, so this particular one is an inspiration to Dama Bianca, okay? And this, I don't think, is an inspiration of the Surge of Line. Okay, if it is, then I don't know. The one thing that came to mind when I sprayed this fragrance was La Bomba by Carolina Herrera. Now, La Bomba by Carolina Herrera, I've been speaking about for the past, well, I'd say maybe 2 weeks into its release. I was curious. I wanted the bottle. The bottle is beautiful. The butterfly thing, it's striking, okay? And I'm one of those people that, as a collector, sometimes I just like to look at pretty bottles. But why did I keep restraining myself? Or why wasn't I drawn to purchasing La Bomba? La Bomba, guys, by Carolina Herrera. It's a pushy fragrance. It's an overly sweet fragrance. It's an unapologetic fragrance. It's heady, okay? It's really, really super heady, super rich, super whatever. And for some, it can even come across as screechy. Now, I do get similarities in FAYORA OSHINO to that, right? May not be 100%, because remember, I am telling you this based off of the time I interacted with it. But as a fragrance that I loved the bottle, I kept on going to that La Bomba, hoping that maybe. It is just a fragrance that doesn't settle down. It doesn't matter whether you sprayed it 6 hours in, 7 hours in, 8 hours in. That's what La Bomba does. And I get that, same exact thing in this fragrance. After the sour citruses and the fruitiness and a heady, feel in this fragrance, you do get a floral, right? Which is what they have listed as peony, but to me it feels as though it's a little bit even more than just peony, as though it got like an equally rich floral, even a richly done jasmine, that sort of thing. That's what this fragrance does. And it doesn't stop there, okay? Then you're gonna get, an almond thing. And then at some point, that almond mixed in with the frangipani, remember, is sort of like giving it like a tropical vibe, even like a milky weight. Okay, and I can absolutely see how some people are going to be crazy about this DNA. It's unapologetic. It's for those who love beast mode. Is for smell me before you talk to me. That's what I get, and every time I try it, I find myself going, you know. So it is a rich fragrance. It's heady. It does feel like Paris Corner. We're going for something that is going to appeal to those who love long-lasting scents. If this is not an inspiration from the Xerjoff line, it could be maybe they wanted something in this line, but that's going to be heavy, because the cons to this one is how gentle it is and how soft it is and how some people wish it was beastly. But Dama Bianca in itself too is not like a pushy, you know, DNA, at least to my nose. So with this, they nailed what they were going for. But some people that had expectations for Dama Bianca's DNA to be like loud didn't quite get it from this, and maybe that is the reason why they chose to have this not as a continuation to this FAYORA, you know, Dama Bianca DNA, but rather a DNA that's going to surprise you by doing something absolutely unexpected, especially if you thought it was going to be a continuation of this. This has got a green earthy patchouli about it, and it's done in such a way where if you don't like patchouli, right, there are some people that will say, one look at the note of patchouli in a fragrance, I'm out. That's kind of how the patchouli is done in here. It's really pushy, it's heady, and the one thing I was trying to get it, which is a note listed in La Bomba but excluded on the note pyramid for this, is that dragon fruit. Okay, I was trying to see if this would have remnants of that. Well, in La Bomba, I think it was easy for my senses to connect the fruitiness happening there to that dragon fruit, but not the fruit in itself, but the leaf, the fleshy part of it that can borderline, if you like open it like this and put it to your nose, have like a headiness to the senses. With La Bomba, I immediately got that, and in this, I think there probably is an inclusion of a fruit that draws or leans very close to the rind, you know, of that dragon fruit, and maybe that's also what's adding to the headiness. And maybe there is that heady white floral again, you know, that's also unapologetic in this. So it's heady, and then you get that patchouli that's not even trying to hide itself, and that's what this fragrance becomes. It's gonna give you, you know, a little bit of tropicalness, as I said, milkiness of the almond, adding like that, you know, lactonic weight to it. And as you're processing that, it shifts, it becomes a floral, and then there's that tonka, and the tonka is green leaning, and then you know, there is that heady patchouli, and then the vanilla comes in there to wrap up everything, and it just becomes one of those one of those fragrances that you either love or you absolutely have no time for. The vibe that I get in here is also similar to the vibe I get in Born to be Unforgettable by Killian. But with Born to be Unforgettable, it's a fragrance that I would say I have just decided it's not for me. Okay, I am wearing it at the bottom of my hem. You know, there are some fragrances that when you purchase, you really even don't know who to gift it, because you don't want to offend the person you're gifting. And that's exactly what I feel. There's a note in that fragrance that just doesn't do it for me. It mixes to like a saliva thing, then it mixes to that patchouli, and then it becomes, you know, like a fragrance with a marine accord, and it's just like a push and pull. And it's generally not a fragrance that puts me in the best of moods, you know, that want to stand out. I kind of get something like that in this, but it's not as bad as that. So I just gave you that and dropped it there as, you know, one of the things that you could maybe use for reference sake, in case you want to know what this fragrance kind of vibes like and you haven't put your nose on La Bomba. But for the pros for this fragrance, it's going to be heavyweight. A few sprays are going to go a long way. It's going to project, it's going to be loud, okay, and that patchouli might even put it under like a 75 30 kind of ratio when it comes to who can wear this, 70% being ladies and perhaps 30% being men who may like this sort of DNA, right? And in conclusion, FAYORA, the original one, still takes #1 spot, you know, when it comes to this FAYORA line. I would still say I love this. Yes, just like everybody else, I wish it could do better, but definitely a DNA I see myself using until the last of my bottle. Whereas this, it's a fragrance that I'll have to think, you know, of the number of sprays, or an easy one if it's cooler weather, that sort of thing. So those are my thoughts, guys, about FAYORA OSHINO. Long lasting, rich green, earthy, patchouli forward scent with a fruitiness, lactonic feel, a little bit tropical, and that tonka and vanilla. That's it in a nutshell. Please, let's meet in the comment section where you tell me what your thoughts about FAYORA. I would love to hear, you know, your thoughts, your expectations. Is this something that you absolutely love? Share it with us in the comment section, because remember, fragrances are also nose specific. Remember to turn on post notifications. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one. And remember, guys, smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.